Wonderful. Looks like we've got some good netball happening here. We've got St. John Fisher from Brackenridge playing Emmaus College from Jimbooma, two Brisbane-based teams. Emmaus College also our host for QISSN in 2026. So we look forward to heading back to Brisbane and being hosted by Boomtown. I'm joined here. I've got Sophie and I've got Maddie from St. Mary's College Ipswich, fresh off a win against Rocky Girls Grammar. Girls, how are we doing?
Good.
Wonderful. Girls, what do you think? What's the key here? Early morning games. What do we need to look out for? What does St. John Fisher and Emmaus College need to look out for here? Obviously, the girls are a little bit puffed from their own game. What we notice is normally with these early morning games, we might find some little coach killers, some 1%ers that go a little bit astray. We might find some early breaks, some little tips that go a little bit unanswered. But looks like the girls here absolutely smashing it. So, great goal there by St. John Fisher. Now, Maddie, this is your second QISSN. How is this different from last year? Obviously, we had your first year away in Townsville. What have you learnt or what have you grown from over that past little bit? Wonderful. Still a low-scoring game here, but we're only early on. But St. John Fisher looking to take control. Good work there. Emmaus really looking for an opportunity here to get ahead. Oh, a little bit of a tumble there from our centre. She's back up on her feet. A bit of back and forth there. Managed to keep control. Looks like a relatively young team out there for Emmaus. Lovely take there by our goal attack Davies. And great shot there to finish it up. That's their first points on the board. My bad. That is 2 points on the board for them. Lovely shot there by our goal shooter from St. John Fisher. A little bit tough to see their numbers out there, but they are all doing a fantastic. Oh, lovely shot from a bit further away. Our goal attack again, really locked in. That's Davies from from Emmaus. Really locking in here. Oh, a little bit too much, unfortunately. But Emmaus really looking to take control here. Good movement up and down the court.
Unlucky call there.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. We've got to play the whistle. That is the game that we come away for, and you do. Our umpires are, they're doing 5 or 6 games a day, and they've got to call it how they see it. But like you said, Soph, unfortunately, there's some unlucky calls, but that is the game. In that sort of a situation, Soph, how do you play your game? If you get a call that you're unhappy with, what do you do in that situation? How do you go through that process? Run us through that mental process for those listening at home.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard, but I mean, you got to play to the whistle, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And a lovely shot there again. May is coming out strong now. I think we might have some issues with our scoreboard because when one team scores, I think both teams are getting a point there. So we'll get you an update for those points in a little bit. Some lovely movement. St. John Fisher really looked to have control at the very start, but Emmaus have come out strong and are looking to sort of regather. Oh, lovely pass into our goal attack, and bam, finishing it off nice and strong. Now, Maddie, you play in the circle. You're a shooter, a goal attacker, goal shooter. What do you think? We just saw some nice movement up and down the court. What is your gold standard? What are you looking for? What are you hoping for from your mid-court to feed it in? What's your ideal situation there in terms of like good passes or good movement or good communication or a bit of both?
I think everything together. Communication is definitely the biggest thing for us, and it looks like John Fisher and Emmaus have both got that under control.
Yeah, fantastic. I would have to agree. I think it's pretty loud here. Like there's a lot of cheers and a lot of communication. Each of their teams will have their own little calls as well, which is good. That works for them. And as you can see there, that movement up and down the court and then finding a little gap there. And that very tall goal shooter making mincemeat of that one. Some lovely passing. Oh, Middleton with a great feed in the middle, but deflected. So Mash will keep control here. They'll want to make sure they capitalise on this situation. It has almost been tit for tat the whole way. Only one goal difference in between. It has been a tight. That is a good break for St. John Fisher. Wonderful feed in. Good to have some height in the circle too there, luckily for St. John Fisher. Oh, unlucky, but good regather there from our goal shooter and capitalising on that second opportunity. Well done. Now, Sophie and Maddie, you are both shooters. You both play in the circle. Maddie was just telling us that communication obviously is key. But what if, we're looking at St. John Fisher and they've got some lovely height in the circle. But what happens if you've got a couple of shooters or your goal attack who perhaps don't have that height? What do we need to work around there? How do you combat that, especially if you're coming up against a nice tall goalkeeper or a goal defense?
I think the biggest thing between two moving shooters is just trust with each other and just watching for each other as to where they're going to make room for each other.
Yeah, fantastic. Love it. Sophie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think what Maddie said, like communication in the circle so you're not going to the same space.
Yep. Yeah, fantastic. And we're seeing a lot of that here. Good pass there by Davies Britton. Back out. And a good tip by St. John Fisher. They are holding again. Davies looking to lock in. And she is on fire, ladies and gents. She is not missing today. St. John Fisher will want to be keeping that ball away from her. She is absolutely smashing it. It looks like we might have a rinse and repeat again. And it's certainly something you don't want to get into the habit of, is losing that centre pass, because it's really hard, isn't it, girls, to really regather. If you're obviously scoring your centre pass, and that's fine. However, if you're losing that momentum and that you're losing off, losing off your own centre pass, it's really hard to regather. But like I said before, this game has very much been tit for tat. Only 2 score difference. Wonderful shooting there by the goal shooter from St. John Fisher, number 11, which is Daniela Rees. She has been an absolute powerhouse in that circle. St. John Fisher up by 3. Man, it's going to be really looking to claw back before that second half. Oh, unfortunate. Just a little bit not enough on it, but good regathering there and good finish. Again, comes back down to what the girls were saying before, good communication and having that trust. Obviously, you want to trust that whoever's taking that shot is going to get there, but you want to also make sure that you are going just in case they have an off shot. Daniela Rees again, bang. No mucking around in the circle up there for St. John Fisher. We are officially into double digits here now. 10-7 the score, just over a minute and a half to go. While we've got some time, big thank you to our platinum sponsors, the Wave Sports Club, Hits FM 93.9, 4BU AM 1332, the local radio stations, and our gold sponsors, Bundaberg Regional Council, Tony Madden Architects, Catholic Education Diocese of Rockhampton, and Coronis. Big thank you to those sponsors who make all this possible. And of course, our major sponsor, CQ University, who are naming rights sponsors of QISSN. And also a big shout out to Shalom College Bundaberg, who have been amazing in hosting this year's QISSN. 25 years it has been, and our Silver Jubilee, and it's so nice to be back here. And what is today very much sunny Bundaberg. Couldn't have said the same thing 24 hours ago. Just shy of a minute to go here now. 11-7 is the score. St. John Fisher really taking hold. Oh, lovely pass over the top of everyone. Can she? Yes, she can. I don't actually think we've seen her miss, or if it has, it's only been very, very little. Girls, what are we taking from this situation? 5 goals up before half-time. What's going through your brains if you are, let's say, if you are Emmaus College, 5 goals behind? Where are our thoughts at?
Just to keep your heads up, there's still a whole another 12 minutes to go. They can do it. They just need to talk to each other more. John Fisher's doing it very well.
Yeah. Sophie, what do you think? What's Emmaus got to work on in that second half, do you think?
I don't really know, to be honest.
Don't really know. That's okay. This will be it if she can get that shot off. Well done. And that brings us to half-time. Still plenty of netball to go. 5 in between. Hopefully that'll update. Now, girls, I'm going to talk about our game while we've got this little break. We just had a game against Rocky Girls Grammar, and we were lucky enough to come up with a win. We had a bit of a tough draw yesterday. We had a loss and then a draw to finish up the day. What do you think was different today? What was the energy like for St. Mary's coming out of the gate today?
I think we just really upped the intensity. Yeah.
Yep. And in what way? Because obviously you can up that intensity in a few different ways. Was it more the aggression in your play? Do you think you were sort of more hustling for the ball, or do you think you were just taking better shots?
I think our hustle, I think we just came out wanting it more after the tough games yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really bring it.
Fantastic. Sophie, what do you think? What was if you had to compare, obviously, today's games to yesterday's games?
Yeah, I felt like yesterday we didn't really know what we had to come up against.
Yep.
And
So sort of that, all that, not the fear, but the unknown, and you're sort of coming in that first game. You've a lot of teams have travelled. I know we travelled, 5 or 6 hours, and then you want to hope that you have a good night's sleep overnight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It's sort of tough because even if you play that team the year before, it's most likely not going to be the same team.
Yeah.
It's very much the case with us. We've got 5 or 6 brand new players this year, so. I think both good insights, ladies. 6 points between St. John Fisher are really going to want to hold on to those points. So for those playing at home or watching at home, if a team wins by 5 or more goals, they actually get an additional point in the ladder points. Tell you what, Emmaus really need to work hard here to block out Daniela Reeves, because she has been a powerhouse. And unfortunately, good take there. Good touch by the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, not enough. Bang. 2 and 2. She is really smashing it home there, and it has been St. John Fisher's their powerhouse. I think if Emmaus are going to have to really work hard. When you're 8 goals behind, it's not impossible. However, it's going to be a tough slog for them. So I think at this point they need to work together. Their coach needs to be smart with subs and making sure that we're keeping fresh players on, and we're making sure that if our shooters and our GAs are on, that they're, just like that. We want to make sure that they are hitting every single shot. Unfortunately, ladies, as you know, when you have a 24-minute game, very different to your club games where you're playing, potentially 40 or more minutes. You've got time to recover. Run us through. Obviously, we've got 2 from 2. Britton there, lovely shot. What do you think? What happens when you miss a shot? How do you what do these girls need to make sure that they're keeping in mind? Talk us through the mental routine of a shooter.
I know that some shooters have words they say in their head to bring them back down, like cool their heads back off, because it is a lot being in here. Like you said, it's really loud and hard to focus when you are the shooter.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's got something to think about. So
yeah, like a little routine. And I watch you guys even when you're warming up. You have little routines, and some people, I know even our centre, Charlie, has her own sort of routine when she's taking that centre pass as well. What about you, Sophie? Do you have a routine in your head, or even like a physical thing that you do every time you shoot, just to sort of get yourself mentally and physically prepared to take those tough shots?
Yeah, I just tell myself to calm down if I miss a shot, because I know I get in my head a lot. Just to breathe and calm myself down, to not get frustrated at myself.
I think that's good advice from the girls here. Realistically, when you've got 24 minutes of netball, you don't unfortunately have time to be frustrated. You don't have time to be stressed. You've sort of got to recover really quickly. And that is something that St. John Fisher is doing really well in this game. Emmaus working really hard. They are hustling. They have not stopped. It is a bit like herding cats out there. There is people moving everywhere. But they're doing anything they can to get that opportunity in. Really good. I was going to say it would be tough if it didn't go that way. And St. John Fisher, that's something they've been doing really well, as well as those defensive rebounds. They're making sure that if that shot's not going in, that it's definitely going into their hands. So we're lucky enough we get to play St. John Fisher. They're another Brisbane-based school. We get to play them in our QISSN competition, so we've had the privilege of seeing them play quite a bit when we play our inter-school competitions, but it's nice to see them out here playing other schools from not only our area in Brisbane, but it's also nice to see all of our schools getting together and getting a chance to play schools that they potentially may have never even heard of, let alone played netball against. So if you are playing at home or you're watching along, make sure that you are getting onto the social media. Make sure you are leaving some words of encouragement, and you make sure that you are following along because the girls would love to see it, especially if you are from Boomtown, if you're from Jimboomba, or you are from Brackenridge and you're following along at home. Make sure you are getting in, letting the girls know that you're supporting them from afar, because 5 days of netball is a massive undertaking, and sometimes those words from home can be all that they need at the end of the day. So looking like it's some very physical netball here in this second half. Again, she has not missed in this second half. 18-10, they've kept that deficit to 8, and that's where St. John Fisher are going to want to keep it now. It's a lovely pass in there. Working through to our goal attack. Very, very good. That is number 8, Hannah Moa. Great shot there. Good recovery by Emmaus, almost going out. And this is Addison Davies feeding it off, getting it back in the circle. She's in a good spot here. Wonderful shot. And Emmaus are now in the double digits. They're up at 11. It has really been tit for tat. St. John Fisher have managed to scrape in an extra point or two. They'll want to keep this up. Those extra points could be the difference between going up a division and staying up in the higher, or it might be, unfortunately, it might be Emmaus' downfall here if they move down or get relegated to the lower division. So if you haven't followed QISSN or you're not sure how it all works, we have 3 days of pool games, and the girls and boys will be playing their teams from their pool. So they'll have about 6 or 7 games, and then based on how they perform, they then get moved into a division. So currently we're in pools A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. And then from day 4 and day 5, we will be in Div 1 through to 8. And then that'll be where the finals get played off. So realistically speaking, these pool games, while they are important, you can still, lose games and draw games and still come out as champions at the end. It'll just depend on which division that ends up in. Oh. A little bit of a slippery fall there for Charlotte McGee, but she looks like she's back up on her feet. Good recovery there. I tell you what, it is loud. The atmosphere here there's a lot going on. Obviously, we're watching this court, but there are 3 courts behind us, and it is absolute mayhem. I think that might have been the first shot that I've seen missed there, but luckily enough, we managed to get that back. Deficit now at 9, almost a double-digit lead here for St. John Fisher, which is very commanding, and is going to do them a bunch of favours. A lovely pass, though, and a lovely take in what was some high traffic in the circle. Well done. Good capitalisation there from our GA, from Emmaus. Lots of scuffling, lots of movement up in the attacking end for St. John Fisher. They're doing anything they can. Oh, good defense there by our goalkeeper from Emmaus. They're doing anything that they can to keep that ball out of that end. Look, it's going to be a tough slog, but 4 minutes of netball, you know, girls, anything can happen. We had a game yesterday and we were down by 4 goals, and we managed to score 4 unanswered in about 45 or 50 seconds to bring it to a draw. So anything can happen. Lovely shot. Emmaus are coming out firing, and they've got that centre pass again. So this is what we were talking about before. If you can get a few in a row unanswered, you really can shift the momentum of this game. And they are really working that circle. That centre from Emmaus, Middleton. She has been absolutely a powerhouse in the second half, really working with those shooters. Girls, obviously, we've got a few different mid-courts from our team. You've got Charlie and Kaylee, who normally are your centres. What do you like about them, or as a shooter, what do you appreciate that they bring to the squad?
I think, especially for us shooters, it's great that they bring a lot of trust into our team and our game, and they give us a ball, they know that we're going to catch it, and they give it to us, and then we work hard for them, because they do so much for us in the mid-court.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Sophie?
I feel like they are really good, feeding it into the circle, I guess.
Because what happens if you've got a centre or even your wing attack who struggle to feed it in? How does that affect you as shooters?
I think mainly we work a lot harder and then are too tired to get the ball in the hoop. So they bring a lot to our game, not just theirs. Yeah, wonderful.
And that's what we're seeing a lot of with Middleton here. She's absolutely been, strong in getting and moving it out and working with those wing attacks, and even our GA to get it fitted into the circle. Our shooters and GA here have really been coming back. I mean, we're back to 4, and we've still got 2 minutes in netball to go. So really, this game is certainly far from over and very exciting. They're wanting to keep it away from Danielle Reese here, because she has been awesome in the circle. 5 is the deficit, but still, unfortunately, just a bit too much on that. Too many Weet-Bix this morning at the Emmaus camp, perhaps. 90 seconds of netball to go. Our umpires have done a fantastic job. We had that one call, probably a bit questionable at the start, but oh my goodness. I think that's what they were going for before with that pass. Lovely pass well done. That was definitely the right situation there. Shooter was not in the best position, and our GA there coming. Wonderful. I'll tell you what, this Emmaus team, second half, almost chalk and cheese, don't you agree, girls, to their first first half. They have been absolute dynamite in moving that ball up and down.
They have fought back, have they? Weren't they down by 9?
That's correct, yeah. They had a 9-point deficit, and at this point they're down by 3. And if they can get some quick goals here, they could even muster up a draw or even a win. They're going to have to really work hard. This is actually fantastic netball. Emma's team, you can see they're on the edge of their seats. They really need to stop any sort of goal here. That unfortunately could be the final, the straw that broke the camel's back here. But we'll see. There's only 8 seconds to go. They want to get as many points in. Oh, lovely pass, and what a take. Yes, good idea. Sierra coming to finish it off. Wonderful, and that is full time. Thank you for being here with us. We're going to go off and we're going to get ready for our next game. For those of you following along at home, thank you so much. Plenty of netball still to come. Make sure you're tuning in, make sure you're supporting, and make sure you're leaving comments on the social media pages and following along. And we'll see you next time.